Okay, WMMA scene now, coming to you once again with another fight review. This is from the third fight of Road FC 45 XX. It was Lim So-Hee versus Miki Araki at 110-pound catch weight. Araki was originally scheduled to face Yeji Lee at 105 pounds at atom weight. Lee had to back out due to an ankle injury, so Lim So-Hee came in on about 20 days' notice. I had originally, and if you watch the preview video, I thought Araki would win due to one, experience. She had, like, I don't know, 2-3 times the fights of Lim, and two, just overall, I thought she would have an overall more rounded skill set based on what I'd seen of So-Hee Lim before. Well, I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong. If you'd watched So-Hee Lim's first fight, it was against Yan Xiaonan, like about a year and a half ago, maybe. She absolutely got destroyed. But let me tell you something. If you go back and watch that fight, and then watch Lim versus Araki, you'll see that So-Hee Lim definitely learned from that fight. She was using a lot of side kicks and teeps in this fight. She was landing that side kick pretty much every time she threw it. First round, about 2-minute mark in, Araki went in, landed 1 or 2 shots, and then Lim started firing back. She landed a big hard right that stunned Araki, and then she landed another hard right cross, dropped Araki to the ground. I thought that might be it for a second. Lim started showing her inexperience. She took the back, but rather than going for like a G&P, she started to go for the rear naked choke, which Araki was able to defend, being a little more ground savvy. One point, So-Hee Lim actually had a body triangle on, which was pretty surprising, but she quickly gave that up, and that was when Araki was able to reverse and get it back up. Lim muscled her back down to the ground for a split second, but Araki was able to get right back up that time. And so then they were clinching for a little bit, and then more striking exchanges. Lim was usually getting the better of him based off of countering. Araki would go in and land a few, but then So-Hee Lim would just counter just really well. Second round was a lot more of the same. Nobody got dropped this time. One thing you noticed, and the commentators noticed as well, was that Araki would she'd get in the distance, and she'd land a few punches, but then she'd like hesitate. Like, she'd land her combo, but then it was almost like a program. Like, she reached the end of the program, and she wasn't, like, she didn't know what to do next. Like, she wasn't trying to step back out. She wasn't trying to pivot out. She would get in the distance, land a few strikes, and then she'd stop. And that was when So-Hee Lim was able to really land her counter successfully. And honestly, her punches looked even stronger than Araki's. Towards about last 30 seconds, both fighters really started to come alive. Araki especially was trying to throw some hard leather, but it just wasn't enough. By that point, So-Hee Lim, she was just so far ahead on the points. And keep in mind, Road FC actually does use an actual point system. Seems to work pretty well. You never get too many. Actually, I've seen like maybe one controversial judging call based on this system. But anyway, at the end of the fight, So-Hee Lim, she was definitely farther ahead on the scoring criteria and won a rightful decision. It's a pretty good fight overall. I particularly enjoyed it. It was nice to see a young fighter make such a big improvement in a short amount of time. So-Hee Lim came in, she was 1-1, and just from her first fight where she got absolutely destroyed by Xiaonan Yan, to her second fight was with Hana Date, which you didn't really get to see a whole lot of her, but she was certainly confident. And then to this fight where she was using more traditional style kicks, but she also incorporated a lot of she had a pretty good Muay Thai clinch and was landing some hard knees, and she was listening to her coaches really well. Like, every once in a while they'd yell something even I could understand. Like, they'd say knee kick, and she didn't even hesitate. She threw a knee right away. So it was just really neat to see a young fighter just improve so much so fast. So really looking forward to what she has to do, or what she's going to be doing in the future. Takeaways from this fight: Miki Araki, finish your combos and learn what to do after that. Also, if you're getting struck, work harder for a takedown. I thought, she didn't really try to work for a takedown until way deeper into the second round, and by then it was probably would have been too late. But go back to the first point. Definitely work on what you're going to do once you finish a combo. Don't just go in there and then land a few punches and then stop. You have to do something. You have to finish. You got to pivot. You got to step back out. Work sideways. Do something. Don't just go back in there and hit back out. So-Hee Lim, excellent work. Don't know what else to say. Matches to make. I'm not really sure on this one. Miki Araki, she'll probably go back to Japan, get some fights in. I wouldn't mind seeing her back in Road, because Road FC, their women's divisions are young. They need some fighters. They need some regular presence from fighters outside of Korea. So-Hee Lim, who would I like to see her up against? Maybe it's hard to say. I'm gonna hold off on saying who she should fight next. I haven't really thought about that. So this has been another fight review from WMMA Scene Now. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much.